Fatal Brood of Infinite Ruin was released in January 2006. This set surprisingly did not introduce any new keywords. Instead, it introduced creatures that have 0 base power, as well as creatures that activate powerful abilities when they attack an opponent and aren't blocked. Notable cards in this set include Jill Warka, Time Guardian, Slash Charger, Blizzard of Spears, Mana Bonanza, and one of the most sought-after light creatures in all of English Duel Masters, Petruva, Channeler of Suns. In this series, both Michael Swartz and myself will be opening 24 booster packs, or 1 box, of a core Duel Masters booster set. We will build a deck and play a best 2 out of 3, and the winner will receive a small prize to upgrade their deck. However, in each new episode, we will open another box of the next set that was released, moving in chronological order, constantly upgrading our decks before dueling each other at the end of the episode. This is the Duel Masters Progression Series.
Hey everyone, well, I am back in the winner's circle this week. Honestly, I still can't totally believe that we were able to pull out the win with Ballroom of all things last week. But it turned out to be a pretty good metagame call that worked out basically exactly as planned, and I'm really glad that it did. So, in any case, we get to spin the winner's wheel for this week. To be quite honest, I'm not totally sure what I want from this wheel. I already pulled pretty much everything I could have wanted from Epic Dragons of Hyper Chaos last week. I guess maybe it would be nice to get my hands on some of the super rare dragon evolutions, but at the same time, I don't really know if pulling just one of them from this winner's wheel is going to be enough to incentivize me to play that deck or not. So I don't really know what's going to help us here, but I guess we can spin the wheel and see what we can get. So let's give this wheel a few spins and see what comes up. Okay, looking like just the packs here. Yep. Alright, so we get 2 extra packs of Epic Dragons of Hyper Chaos. Let's just go straight to the pack openings and see what we can get. Well, we did spin 2 packs of Epic Dragons of Hyper Chaos on the winner's wheel, so let's just crack those boys open and see what we pull in there. Okay, this is actually not bad already. We get Corpse Charger, which we actually didn't pull the full playset of. I don't know that we need more than we had anyways, but it is really nice to have an extra copy of that. We also pull a 3rd copy of Magma Dragon Jagalzar, which, as I've said before, is a pretty good holo. Maybe we can find a use for this. Let's see. Not a whole lot we really needed here. Some good cards, but we already had them.
We have a very exciting opening today, ladies and gentlemen. We are opening Fatal Brood of Infinite Ruin. Now, this is my most anticipated set since Stompatrons, so I'm really excited to crack these open. Because look at the card that is sitting on my screen right now on this Stompatrons pack, Petruva, Channeler of Suns. You've probably noticed that I play a lot of light, and this is like one of the best light cards in the game that could make or break the rest of my decks. If I pull a few Petruvas, I'm gonna be golden for the rest of the Progression Series. This card is absolutely busted good, especially in the Progression Series where like it's hard to just deal with stuff as is, but now you're gonna have to deal with things that are 4K more power, and you can't target the Petruva. It's gonna be sick if I can get it, but I have to get it. Outside of Petruva, we're looking for Slash Chargers. That's an insane charger for the Darkness Civilization. Outside of that, there's also Blizzard of Spears, which is a crazy good mass removal card, which actually is kind of the counter to Petruva. Fingers are crossed. Let's open these bad boys up. I want to get something insane. Please let this happen. Please let it happen. Here we go.
And in pack number 1, we already have a holo. It's Vrima Freaky Mojo Totem. It is a Beast Folk support card. This is kind of past the prime time of Beast Folk in Duel Masters history, and we don't have some of the best Beast Folk anyways, so don't really think this is ever going to be making the cut.
This is a very expensive card. When another creature would be destroyed, it stays in the battle zone. That is a wild one, which actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, it negates Ballroom.
We have a very rare here, Glenna Vuel the Hypnotic. This is a Guardian evolution that's a double breaker, and it disincentivizes your opponent from using shield triggers. It is a decent double breaking Guardian evolution. Also probably not really going to be making the cut.
This is actually a card I wanted to see, Betrayal the Explorer. I don't have like much good strong blockers outside of like Senatine Jade Tree and Canistel the Explorer. So getting a 5k power blocker is not too bad. I like to see it. It also has the added benefit that at the end of each of your turns, you can untap it. So it's actually a pretty sick blocker if I'm going to stick playing light.
Not a whole lot in this pack either, if I'm being totally honest. Like I said, I think a lot of the cards in this set are just really not very good.
Gabzagul, Warlord of Pain. Each creature attacks each turn if able. It's kind of a neat effect, I'm not gonna lie. Is it the card I'm looking for? No.
We do have Fists of Forever here in this pack, which is maybe a decent utility card. I think the uses for it are a bit too narrow, but it can be decently powerful in the right scenario.
The first super rare is not the one I'm looking for. Stalab the Life Quasher. If it's destroyed, you destroy all creatures. That's pretty insane. But is it one that I'm going to be using? I don't think it is. I would have really liked to see a Petruva there.
We do actually have a decent card over here in the bottom left, which is Zombie Carnival. It's effect 5 mana, choose a race, return up to 3 creatures of that race from your graveyard to your hand. So there are a bit of like restrictions here. You need to have creatures in your graveyard, and they have to all be the same race. But, I mean, in those situations, this is basically a +2 in card advantage for 5 mana, and there's some card selection on top of that. So, in the right situations, this card is actually really good, and I think it's going to be something useful to keep in mind if we want to run, like, some decks focused on one specific race.
We did pick up Jilwarka Time Guardian, actually, which is another one of the sick cards in this set that I forgot to say I'm looking to pick up, but it is a common, so I am expecting to get a lot of them. Super good light blocker, also a Guardian, which is a really good race to have.
Abduction Charger in the bottom right is a bit of an interesting one. It's sort of like teleportation. You can return 2 cards in the battle zone to their owner's hands, and it has Charger. The big thing really holding this back is that you don't want your 7 mana spells to be Charger, because you don't really need the extra mana at that point.
We get a very rare. This is the weird one. My brain has a hard time comprehending this one. It's an evolution to Dark Lord that comes with Ghost support. So whenever one of your ghosts enters the battle zone, you can destroy an opponent's untapped creature. Really good effect, but like you have to balance 2 different races, which is a little bit difficult. You have to make like a deck with that kind of combo. It's hard to get the synergy to be consistent, especially in the progression series where you're not going to have as many of like the Dark Lords and Ghosts that you would have liked to have.
All right, finally we have a card I actually want to talk about. We have the first copy of Blizzard of Spears here. This is basically another board wipe effect. It's 6 mana, destroy all creatures that have power 4,000 or less. So this is really going to be killing most creatures, but in particular, there's a few things this can hit that like Searing Wave and Burst Shot can. A big one is Petruva, Channeler of Suns, another light card from this set that's a royal pain to deal with otherwise.
We got another one of the Dark Lord. I guess we're going to be forced into looking into what Dark Lords we have. Hey, this guy is actually a Dark Lord. I just realized that. We got the Dark Lord support coming in. Are we going to use it? I don't think so. Oh my god! Stop with the Dark Lords. I have too many Dark Lords.
And, alright, Pack 12, the second copy of Blizzard of Spears. That's not bad for sure.
Oh, Marching Motherboard. A Cyber Virus? Would you put another creature that has Cyber in its race into the battle zone, you may draw a card. So you got Cyber Lords and Cyber Virus support kind of like wrapped into one, but it's not enough power to really be all that interesting, and it's a bit slow. Gets hit by all kinds of mass removal. Not exactly what I want to be looking for.
Okay, Pack 13, we've got a series of good rares in a row here. This one is Mana Bonanza. This is 8 mana. For each card in your mana zone, put a card from the top of your deck into your mana zone tap. So basically for 8 mana, you double the amount of mana that you have access to. For 8 mana, you really don't need mana ramp anymore. However, I think the one niche for this card is that if for whatever reason you want to take advantage of those big 13 mana invincible spells from a few sets ago, this card is one of the best enablers to let you do that. Are we actually going to be using that strategy? Probably not, but it is a lot of fun, and it's going to be nice to have this in our pocket if we think we can make it work.
Oh, this card is actually kind of sick. I like this card a lot. Glen of Waylay the Hypnotic. It's an evolution to Guardian, double breaker, and if your opponent uses a shield trigger, you get to add the top card of your deck to your shields face down. So back when Duel Masters Plays released, and there was only like a couple sets, I was rolling like a sick deck that used this card as like the end game. If I pull a few more of them in the last few packs, I might build something with it, but I'd rather see Petruva.
Okay, pack 20, we had another string of bad cards, but this one is maybe worth talking about. Ballast Baj the Time Burner. This is an Armored Wyvern evolution, which that right there is probably one of the biggest things holding it back, but it does have an extraordinarily powerful effect. Whenever this creature is attacking your opponent, if it isn't blocked, take an extra turn after this one. This one is kind of hard to use. It is an Armored Wyvern evolution, and it's 9 mana, and it has this effect that like it is returned to your hand at the end of the turn, which can make it hard to like use this effect turn after turn, which is what you'd obviously want to do. But this is ridiculously powerful. I'm going to take a look and see if our Armored Wyvern pool is anywhere close to being able to support this, but we will see.
Oh my! Stop it! Stop! I need something that's not a Dark Lord Evo. Come on! Let's see. We're running into 5 packs left. Still no Petruva. I'm still hoping. No, we got a super, but it's not the one I needed. Once again, Stratosphere Giant sucks. We are picking up Blizzard of Spears finally, though, so that's pretty nice to see. I need some good mass removal like that.
Not anything here either. Nope, still nothing in this pack. And still nothing.
Yes! We got one! We got one with one of the last few packs left. Petruva is mine! Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. I got one. A sigh of relief from me. Petruva. This card is so good. 5 cost, 3,500. You can't Searing Wave this bad boy. We put it into the battle zone. You choose a race other than Mecha del Sol because that's his race. You can't choose itself, essentially. And that race gets plus 4k power. And whenever your opponent would choose a creature in the battle zone, they cannot choose this one. This thing is insanely difficult to deal with, and any kind of like mid-rangey light cards, like what I've been kind of focusing a lot on, this is like as good as it gets. If I could pull a second Petruva, I'm jumping out of my seat. But I'm content having one. I wasn't gonna go in expecting more than one.
Anyways, not a whole lot from this pack opening, but I don't really know what we could have gotten in the first place.
Honestly, I didn't get any Slash Chargers. That kind of sucks. I only got one Blizzard of Spears, but I got Jill Vorkas. I got a Petruva. Could be worse. Let's win this episode, and let's just get like a wheel spin maybe. Get another Petruva up in here. That would be insane. Let's jump into OCTGN and see what we can build.
Okay, so here's the deck we're taking to today's episode. We are on a new archetype this week, which is Dark Fire Rush. The plan behind this deck is very, very simple. We basically just want to dump our hand onto the battlefield and win the game as quickly as humanly possible. And so in order to do that, we're basically just running a lot of cheap creatures that we can send at our opponent's face, as well as some speed attackers, and then like a bare minimum of removal spells to answer like the first couple threats that our opponent can play to the battlefield. So I will say, there hasn't been like any new cards in the most recent set that have suddenly facilitated this archetype. However, this is something that has been more or less viable for a few sets now and just hasn't been featured in the Progression Series yet. The reason why I chose to play it this week is a bit of a metagame call. But basically, because the deck we ran last week ended up working out, which was that like really late game heavy Duel Master of Death deck that I was playing, I think Ben is going to be preparing for that. And if he's preparing for a deck like that, I think that might mean he's a bit less prepared for a more aggressive strategy. Anyways, I will just get into the card by card and explain what all of these are here for. First we have 4 Deadly Fighter Braidclaw. This is just one of the only 1-drop creatures that can attack in the game. Next we have 4 Marrow Ooze the Twister. This is also in here just because it's a 1-drop creature. The fact that it gets destroyed after it attacks a shield is certainly not ideal. However, the fact that it's a 1-drop really outweighs that. Next, onto the 2-drops. All of these are a bit interchangeable. We really just want some critical mass of 2-drop attacking creatures, and the ones I'm using are just the ones I think have slightly more utility than the other ones. But again, really the most important thing on all of these cards is just the fact that they are 2-drop creatures that can attack. Okay, so we have 2 Rickabu's Screwdriver. This has a really useful tap ability for rush decks, which is that it can tap to destroy blockers. Next we have 1 Kook Pollen. This is also a really good card for rush decks. The fact that it can't be attacked means there's a lot fewer ways to actually deal with it. Unfortunately, we only pulled 1 of these in our pack opening. We would be running more if we had more, but we do not, so we are just running the 1. 4 Snip Striker Bullraiser. This is basically a creature with a really good stat line. It's got 3000 power, which means it's going over most things if Ben is playing early creatures. It goes over like Aqua Hulkus, it goes over like Deadly Fighter Braidclaw. So it can win sort of creature battles in the early game. The drawback on this card is that it can't attack if your opponent has more creatures in the battle zone than you do. However, because we're just looking to really aggressively play creatures, we should really always have more creatures in the battle zone than our opponent anyways. Next we have 4 Jewel Spider. This is a 1000 power creature with the effect that when it's destroyed, you can choose one of your shields and put it into your hand. This is also going to be a bit of a running theme in this deck. Because we're basically faster than any other deck that Ben could possibly play, we don't really care about losing our shields because we're going to be killing them faster than he can kill us anyways. And so basically this is just a way to get a bit of extra value if Ben kills this thing. We get a shield, put it into our hand, which is basically like drawing a card. Next we have 2 Bone Piercer. This is in a similar category to Jewel Spider. It's a 1000 power creature that when it dies we get a bit of value because we can return a creature from our mana zone to our hand. Next, on to the 3 drops, and almost all of these really have Speed Attacker because turn 3 is basically when we want to be playing our highest cost cards in this deck, and so we want to be attacking with these as soon as possible, so it's really good that these have Speed Attacker. I think this card plays a really key role in this deck, and the main reason is that this basically like protects itself because it returns to our hand at the end of the turn. And what that means is that like if we spend turn 1 and 2 playing creatures onto the battlefield and then we play Pyrofighter Magnus on turn 3, we're going to have this Pyrofighter in our hand as well as 2 creatures on the battlefield, and it's a lot harder to answer 2 creatures that are already on the battlefield as well as a threat that's in the opponent's hand, as compared to just like answering a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, which you can do with something like a Burst Shot or a Searing Wave. The fact that this has Speed Attacker means that really at any point in the game, we're threatening to just rip one of these off the top of our deck and send it at our opponent's face. It lets us win games that have kind of stalled out as long as the stall doesn't go for too long, because we can just play these and attack with them before our opponent has time to answer them. Next, we have 3 Rickabu the Dismantler. This is just 3-drop with Speed Attacker. I think I've already really said enough about why that's relevant. Next, we have a bit of a spicy one-of here, but we are running 1 Wild Racer Chief Garen. The main thing to look at here is that this has light stealth, which means that it can't be blocked if our opponent has light cards in their mana zone. Most of Ben's decks have been light, and so if he's playing light this week, this will basically just be a creature that can't be blocked. Lastly, in the creatures, we have 3 Baraga Blade of Gloom. This is a bit on the expensive side actually for a deck like this. However, it has a come into play effect, which allows us to put one of our shields into our hand, which, as I've already explained with Jewel Spider, that's a drawback that doesn't matter so much in this deck, and here it's basically just letting us draw a card, which is really good because it helps us not run out of gas as quickly as we might otherwise. The stat line on this is also quite good. It's at 4000 power, which means it dodges Searing Wave, it dodges Burst Shot, and it's going to be winning most combat that would reasonably happen before we plan on winning the game anyways. 2 Comet Missile, which is a 1-drop spell that kills basically any blocker. It has to be power 6000 or less, but really the only relevant blocker that doesn't fall into that category is Granger Space Guardian, which we will hopefully win the game before that can be played anyways. Next we have 2 Critical Blade. This is just a 2-drop spell that destroys any blocker, so same sort of thing there. And then lastly we have 4 Volcanic Arrows. This is a 2-drop spell, destroys any creature with power 6000 or less, with a drawback again, which it chooses one of our shields, and this time it puts it into our graveyard. So it's not like drawing the card in this case. So anyways, we can use Volcanic Arrows also to just take out our opponent's blockers, or say they play like an Aqua Hulkus or a Magris Vizier of Magnetism and just want to use that to attack our creatures. We can use this to prevent them from doing that. So really useful. So I do think this deck has a lot of bite to it, and I'm hoping to show that off in today's episode. Anyways, let's just get into the games and see how this does.
This week of the Progression Series is going to be one of the most interesting in my opinion, just because of the mind games that are going down. So Michael had this Dark Water Fire control deck that I struggled to beat, and I finally found the answer to it by just building up a cracked field of big light guys that he couldn't go over. Well, guess what? He found the counter to that by just building this Balloon deck that just wipes out my whole board, and then just has creatures that are even bigger than my creatures. So what's the obvious next step? Well, for me, I could just build a Rush deck and go completely under the Balloon deck, but Michael's not an idiot. He knows that I can do that. So is he going to stick with the Balloon deck knowing that I know about it now? Because now I know the easy counter, so maybe he's going to switch it up and go from the Balloon deck to the counter of the counter, which is building something that's going to shut down a Rush deck. But what if I know that he wants to build the counter to the counter and try to shut down a Rush deck, so instead I go back to a greedy deck with Miss Riaz and just blow the counter Rush out of the water? This is where we're getting interesting. So I could build a deck that beats the Balloon deck. I could build a deck that beats a Rush deck. I could build a deck that beats a Control deck. But what is Michael gonna play? I have no idea. The mind games are gonna be sick. So this is what I ended up rolling with. I'm actually gonna go back to Hydro Hurricane, and my reasoning for that is pretty simple. If he does play the Balloon deck, this is going to be pretty good at locking him out of the Balloon, because Hydro Hurricane early can be really good to just slow down his progression, not let him get big stuff out, you know, maybe bounce out some of his Zorbaz the Bone Crushers while getting rid of some of his mana, so now he can't play Balloon, as well as just being a game ender. On top of that, we're going to be pretty decent if he switches up to a Rush deck, because we're looking at a lot of early game blockers, including the Aqua Hulkus, which, by the way, is a key card against Michael's Rush deck, because his Rush deck focuses really heavily on like killing blockers with Critical Blade, Comet Missile, and Rickaboo's Screwdriver. What is he gonna do? I don't know, but this can beat Balloon pretty handily. This can beat Dark Water Fire Control pretty decently, and it can handle Rush decks. I think Rush might be the worst matchup, believe it or not, but I think we're gonna be good enough to handle it with the amount of shield triggers and early game cards we have. I'm going to do a quick card by card. It's kind of the same as last time, so I don't want to do too much, but there's a few key changes. So we got the early game 1-drop blockers, La Ura, Marrow Ooze, and Soul Gala, of course, is a 2-drop blocker. So this is really good for 2 reasons. For one, I'm synergizing really well with the Guardians, because we're going to be playing, for one, a Guardian Evo. We're going to be playing Zombie Carnival, which is going to help synergize when you have one race of a creature. We've got Petrova, where we're going to call Guardian every time, so it has so much support from that. And on top of that, it can actually attack players, so I don't have to rely on Diamond Cutter this time. We're going with 2 Jill Warkas. It's just really good, because if Michael does play the Rush deck that's knocking out all the early blockers with Comet Missiles and stuff, I still get to at least tap down some of his guys. Aqua Hulkus, like I said before, it's really good because if he's playing that kind of deck, it gives me a board presence that doesn't die to Comet Missile and Critical Blade. 1 Thrash Crawler, I can get back Hydro Hurricanes to the mana early, I can get back 1-ofs from the mana zone, and it's just a strong blocker. Locomotive is super good against Rush decks because it's a shield trigger, knock a card out of their hand, and just get a 1k body on the field that you can then trade with like a Deadly Fighter Braid Claw, with the Rickaboo's Screwdriver, with a lot of stuff you can trade with. So it really slows down Rush decks, while also being clutch against control decks by discarding out their key cards early. Miss Riaz, as we know, is insane. You know him, you love him, but now he's even better than ever because I have Petrova. I want to ideally, if I can, wait to summon Miss Riaz until I have Petruva and call Guardian. Because if I do that, then Miss Riaz is going to be completely safe to like Searing Waves, Burst Shots, Volcano Chargers, whatever kind of like power-based kill spells he's using. Not even Tornado Flame can take it out. So it's going to be really good if I can wait. If not, like I have 4 of them, so it's fine anyways if I lose a couple early. Fall Iga, get back my spells from the graveyard, and it's a Guardian. And Glenovuele the Hypnotic. This card is really good as like a finisher against control decks. I can Evo it on top of La Ura Giga and just go in because La Ura can't attack anyways. It's good against mid-range decks because it's actually going to be stronger than things like Twin Cannon Sky Terror, Cryptic Totem, and stuff like that. So against like the mid-range tempo-y decks, it's going to be really strong. And then against rush decks, when you're low on shields, summoning this is going to let you actually attack them directly a little bit earlier, while also like being okay because even if they get a shield trigger, you're going to get an extra shield. So it just gives you a little bit more comfort when attacking when you're sitting on low shields. Aqua Surfer, super good card against rush decks. Bounce something and then can hit them back on your next turn, so it can really slow them down. On top of that, against control decks, especially like the Balloon deck, I can get rid of the Evo bait temporarily, and I can just use it to temporarily remove cards that just have high power that I have a hard time dealing with otherwise. Ray Bill as a one-of is like my I wish I had another Petruva card, and this is the next best thing, but it's also a finisher and makes it so I don't have to rely on Diamond Cutter so hard. We've got a lot of drawing power with our 1 Energy Stream and 3 Eureka Chargers. Eureka Charger is also good because it's going to help us ramp into Lost Soul earlier, so we can kind of win a Lost Soul race against the control deck. And it's going to just be a really good card overall. Crystal Memory, this is going to help us search out our one-ofs like Petruva, or get a Hydro Hurricane when we need it, or a Zombie Carnival even to pull up a lot of Guardians from the graveyard. Speaking of which, that's what we're going to do with Zombie Carnival. I forgot to say Bonds of Justice, Bootleg, Holy Awe, whatever. 3 Hydro Hurricane, pretty much key card of the deck. You end up just bouncing all their mana and some of their creatures, and then when you attack them, they can't do anything back to you, so you're pretty safe to just go in with whatever you have. 1 Terra Pit, I wish I had more, and of course, Lost Soul is going to be really key against any control deck. The mind games are real. What is Michael going to play? I don't think it's going to be the Balloon deck, but I don't think it's going to be like a hardcore rush deck. I think it might be a mid-range. I have no idea though, but we're just gonna run this. Let's see what we can do. It's time to duel. Bam. Oh, is that a Michael Schwartz 40 over there?
We're on
40,
82
42.
cards total.
Yo,
this
that's
is almost a new record.
Oh, I think we had a 40-40 once, didn't we?
Yeah, I said almost a new record.
All right,
I think we did,
for this point in the game, I'm impressed. All right, are you ready to just get this show on the road and like play this match?
Yeah, let's go.
Because this is gonna be an interesting one, I think. I mean, I don't know what you're playing, but it'll surely be interesting. Let's roll a dice and see. You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm gonna move up my webcam, then we're gonna roll the dice, and then I'm gonna move it back. All right, let's roll the dice. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, roll. Are you kidding?
Go.
Have I won a die roll in this game yet? This game actually
sucks. It's
sucks.
only been like 1 or something. Anyways, we will Snap go first here.
All right. Yep. You got it. All right, let's shuffle these decks. Good luck.
Right.
Let's see what happens.
We'll set up the battle zone here. Oh.
Yep.
We're off to a slow start here, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I get the feeling I know where this is going. And I will not say it was unexpected, but maybe. Maybe you're tricking me. Okay,
We'll send this to meta, and you can go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this is going. I'm gonna put down the Aqua Surfer, and you can go ahead.
Alright, that was one of the cards I didn't want to see, I will say that.
Oh boy. It's in the mana zone. It's not anywhere else.
Oh, what do I play to mana, though? Supposed to be a brain dead deck. Why am I thinking about things?
I mean, you think it's a brain dead, but you haven't seen anything yet. All you've seen is an Aqua Surfer. This could literally be anything.
I mean, could be playing that awful 40 card shield trigger creature deck I made back in the day when we played this. It's terrible, but it probably has a winning matchup here.
You want to know what's funny? I told you how I built that deck that just like auto wins against a deck.
Oh, geez.
It literally was that.
Amazing. Oh, geez.
But am I playing it? I might be. I mean, I have a creature, a shield trigger creature in the mana zone.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Okay, I guess we send this to mana.
Okay.
And we will run out a Snip Striker Bull Raiser, and you can go ahead. He's got 3,000 power. What do you have that goes over this?
I mean, not much. I mean, okay. I'm gonna play the Mystery Eyes to mana because I don't think I'm gonna need cards at any point in the near future. And I'm gonna run out Soul Gala Halo Guardian.
Oh, that's a fun card. Okay.
So, I mean, it could be enough to beat the Snip Striker. Maybe, maybe not. We're gonna find out.
Oh, let's draw.
Usually a good thing to do at the start of a turn.
I agree for sure. Oh, Soul Gala Halo Guardian is not really a card you just, like, put in any light deck. Like, what are you playing here? I kind of get the feeling you're on some, like, Waterlight tempo deck more so than, like, a control deck like you've been running in the past.
I'm also not on 52 cards this week, or whatever I had last week.
That is also a fair assessment. I'm trying to think how worried I am about this, like, pumping up and then being able to kill my thing. You know what? We're not super worried. We'll just play mana.
Yep.
Run out this guy Duel Spider here. If you've tested against this deck, you've seen this before.
I've seen this guy. I mean, a lot of the viewers might not have seen him, but when he dies, you actually can put a shield to your hand. So it's kind of like a pseudo draw when it dies, which is pretty nice for a rush deck.
I'm a huge fan of pseudo card draw. Same thing Baraga Blade of Gloom does, incidentally. But
yeah,
when we're playing this deck, this work. Do I? There we go.
You shift and drag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, shield one. I am
we've
not
pretty
going
much
to block.
got to attack.
I will take it.
All right, and then I will end the turn.
Let's draw a card. We are going to put Crystal Memory to the mana zone.
Alright.
This target on this Snip Striker is pissing me off, so I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to pay 3 mana for Energy Stream.
Okay.
And so Soul Gala gets pumped up to 4k, which is enough to kill the Snip Striker.
Yep.
And that will be my turn. Now, if you really want to draw an extra card on your turn, you could actually attack the Soul Gala with your Jewel Spider.
No, I've got other plans, though. We'll just throw everything on the board. We'll pay 1 mana for Deadly Fighter Brave Claw. And we'll pay 3 mana for Pyro Fighter
Oh, he's pretty good. Yep.
So, Pyro Fighter's gonna kill that thing.
Yep, that thing dies.
And then Jewel Spider's gonna go in at a shield.
Alright, he got it.
Alright, and then I will end the turn. Pyro Fighter returns to my hand.
I will draw. I'm not gonna need a Lost Soul, so let's put that to mana.
Okay, you are running discard. That's unfortunate for my friend Pyro Fighter Magnus.
You mean like Locomotiver?
Like Locomotiver, yes, that'll do it.
I'm gonna get that while I can. And unfortunately, it's not a blocker or anything that can stop these attacks.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I've got more speed attackers where that came from.
Yeah. It's a 1k body too, so it can help in the...
Not a speed attacker, but I do have Coop Pollen.
You can't attack him.
Just try to attack this thing.
Oh, no.
I dare you.
Yep.
Alright, Deadly Fighter will go in at another shield here.
No triggers.
And Jewel Spider will hit this one.
Still no triggers.
Let's go. That is what you like to see when you're playing Rush. Alright, go ahead.
I'll draw a card. I'm not gonna need my other Lost Soul.
Yep.
Yeah, the best thing I can do, we're gonna tap, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Eureka Charger.
Okay.
And then we're gonna, there we go. Well, then we're gonna tap 2 for another Soul Gala. So we got a blocker at least.
Yeah.
So thank you for that one, Eureka Charger. And
Did you I assume you've got 7 cards
I've
in your hand.
I've
You
got a
must
lot
have
of cards that are just like honestly not the cards I want to see at this moment.
Okay.
And-
Some games that just happen.
We're gonna hit the Deadly Fighter so you don't get your card draw right
Yeah.
away. Let's there we go. Attack the Deadly Fighter. And then you can top deck your blocker kill, your speed attacker, and put me away. Go for it.
Yep. My deck is just letting me down here. Well, we'll play out the Bone
Yep.
Piercer. Jewel Spider will go in at the last shield.
Yeah, I'll take that one. No triggers!
Now the question is, do we go in with Coop Pollen? I mean, that'll force a trade. Like, if you're on fire, I definitely want to force trades as often as possible, because that sort of, like, forces you to board wipe, and if you don't have blockers, then I can win with a speed attacker. In this situation, I think I just go in and take the trade.
Yep, I will block that.
Yeah.
Good, take the trade before I pump up.
Right, yeah. And then, yeah, the other thing can attack, so go ahead.
I'll draw. Okay.
You have 9 cards in hand.
Yeah, it is a hand.
Surely
that is
you
for
have
sure.
something.
I mean, I've got something. I've got a couple options. I mean, I should have a couple options. But which is the one that's gonna put me in the best position? This deck is funny because, like, I did, of course, like I told you, I always put my decks through the Rush Gauntlet.
Right.
And almost
right.
every game ends up like this, where, like,
Yep.
you're just in a scary position and you can come back, but everything has to go in the right way.
Yeah.
So which is gonna be that way?
Whenever I would test this deck, I don't know what you're playing, but like I've tested this against a few sort of control builds, and like it feels like even when everything goes right, sometimes they just rip the Pyro Fighter off the top, and
Yeah,
there's
of
nothing you
course.
can do.
Like right now, like you can. I think no matter what my out is here, I think you have the potential of ripping something off the top.
Yeah, like honestly, I think if the top card of my deck is a speed attacker, I just win no matter what you have.
Yeah.
I guess you could be playing like Shield Gain or something. That's a thing.
I'm really close to like actually being safe from the top card of your deck, which is kind of funny. But the mana is not quite there. I have not had enough turns to ramp up. Alright, I'm gonna put a new card to mana, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna put a new card to mana.
Alright.
I'm gonna put this guy down. That's my
Oh,
boy.
this guy, yeah, I forgot about this thing. Okay.
Yeah, back when that app game, Duel Masters Plays, was out, when I reached like top 3 or top 2, whatever I was running a deck that was like based on him.
Oh,
He's
wow, that's
sick.
pretty neat.
Alright, then we're gonna tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Mysterias.
Alright.
Then we're gonna tap 1 for Marrow Ooze the Twister, and we're gonna draw a card.
Another
And then we're gonna
Marrow
tap
Ooze.
1 for Marrow Ooze the Twister and draw a card.
Alright.
So you've got many cards that you can rip from the top of the
got-
deck to put me out.
I think I've got 11 cards that win me the game. if I'm
I don't
remembering
like my odds,
correctly.
but I have to.
I mean, 11 out of 25 is less than 50%. But anyways, we'll draw. That is not one of the cards that wins me the
Oh,
game.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Things are looking up.
I mean, we'll just take the trades where we can, but first we'll play the card in our hand.
Okay, I'm gonna draw a card.
Yep, that's fine. Trying to think if the order I do this in matters, and I don't really think it does. I guess we'll go in with Jewel Spider first, so we know
Yeah.
what shield we're taking up. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
we only have
yeah.
one card we can pick up with the Bone Piercer anyways, but yeah, so that gets traded off. This is actually a May effect, so I don't have to.
Yeah,
but I
you
am
don't
gonna
have
take
to.
one of my shields.
And you cannot shield trigger me, thank goodness.
That would be so broken if you could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Bone Piercer is going to attack.
Yep, and I will block again.
But what if you have discard? Like, all I can pick up is the Baraga Blade of Gloom, and like,
Yeah, it depends if you want it.
probably...
Like, would you rather have 4 mana, or would you rather have the potential to summon a 4K?
I mean, I guess, I don't think you pulled Cranium Clamp, and you're not gonna Lost Soul me from this position, because I have a Deadly Fighter Breakclaw,
Right,
so yeah, we'll
I
just
can't.
pick it up.
Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah, so the Baraga Blade of Gloom is yours. Alright, I will draw for turn.
I guess you could do like Locomotiver and a blocker, but that's not such a big deal.
think first I'll play Eureka Charger to mana. I don't like that you have the 2-card hand. I mean, one of them is the Barago, which is like, I mean, it's a little bit scary, I guess.
I mean, honestly, what I'm expecting to do is send this back to mana and play 2 cards.
Yeah, ideally, that's what I think you want to do.
Like, if I draw something weird, maybe I just want to play this Baraga. I don't know.
I should do this first. Run out the next Marrow Ooze and draw my card.
Yep, that's fine.
Because having a blocker is pretty good right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Aqua Surfer to bounce Deadly Fighter, and I'm gonna draw a card. And I was really hoping I was gonna draw La Uragiga, but I didn't.
That would
so
be
I
quite
have to end my turn
good.
there. So I mean, you could get Speed Attacker and Comet Missile.
Okay, I haven't seen Fire. We're just gonna throw everything down and see what you've got.
1 for Marrow Ooze, 1 for that, 1 for
Go
that.
ahead.
Well, I'm gonna draw my 3 cards, first of all.
Yep,
1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna draw for turn. I have a 12 card hand. That's pretty good.
Point out, your hand is as big as your deck almost right now.
There is a very, I mean, it's almost for sure gonna be bigger than my deck in a minute here once I start summoning.
I was hoping your hand was just filled with invincible spells and you had no play whatsoever.
See, I hate this deck. You have to be so delicate against these rush decks.
The other thing is, like, you could also just, like, end the game if you have La Uragiga into Guardian Evo or something.
That is true. Because, well, you do have blockers, though, actually. Because rush deck with blockers.
Yeah, I totally forgot for a
That's
second,
funny.
actually.
This is going to help me be a little bit more comfy. I'm going to pay 3 mana for the Jill Warka Time Guardian. Which is actually very good.
It taps 2, basically. Okay.
Yeah. You just got suddenly really loud out of nowhere, by the way. That was weird.
Okay, I don't know what that was. But...
Alright, I'm going to draw my card with Mystriaz. Put me up to almost as many cards in my hand as my deck now. Then we're going to do 1, 2, 3... No, 1, 2, 3, 4 for a Thrash Crawler to get a little more comfy. And I'm going to pull up Glen of Waylay the Hypnotic. But he was supposed to be tapped earlier, but actually it doesn't matter. I'm going to draw a card. Because, yeah, this is why it didn't matter, because I was just trying to draw my 1-drop La Uragiga and draw a card.
Okay.
I was like, wait, I can't play the Soul Gala, but whatever, it didn't matter. Alright, and then I'm left with this big field. Good luck.
Okay, well, we're gonna play the other Marrow Ooze the Twister.
Yep.
These are drawn to my head like magnets, apparently. Deadly Fighter has to attack, so we'll go in with that.
I'll tap the Thrash Crawler. I'm not gonna block with my Marrow Ooze.
Go ahead.
Alright, I'm pretty sure it's unlosable at this point. But that's gonna go to mana. 1, 2 for Soul Gala, and I guess I'll draw a card because it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Zombie Carnival.
That card is so cool. I love that card.
And it just like the situation this is really stupid. I'm gonna call Living Dead and get back my Marrow Oozes.
Amazing.
Something I never thought I would do in a Guardian deck. And then I'm just gonna... I tapped my Dark Mana already, so I'm just gonna play that, and I have everything I need. I don't even need to draw a card. Go ahead. It's kind of just like the technicalities at this point that I have to play this out the correct way. But...
Well, what's funny, I will say, there is actually a win condition left in my deck. Probably
there
wouldn't
won't be
have
for very
mattered
long.
either way, yeah.
I'll draw that to mana. 1, 2... 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna Hydro Hurricane and just bounce your everything, except for the Deadly Fighter.
Yeah, okay.
I have 2 mana left. Then I will just end my turn.
Alright, well, let's draw a card.
That's what I mean, but like, it's technicality. Like, I could go in and 99 times out of 10.
Too little, too late, but I will multi-Comet Missile the Thrash Crawler.
Okay, yep.
And I guess this has to attack.
Yep, and I'll block with Jill Warka, I guess.
Sure. Go ahead.
I'll draw. Don't need that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put out Petrova, call Guardian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice, okay.
And I'll evolve a La Ura into Glen of Waylay, and then I'll end my turn just to be extra safe and end you next turn.
Alright.
I've got 6 cards left in my deck, we good.
Alright, well, I'll speed things along. I will play Volcanic Arrows to destroy one of my own shields. I sent my win con to the graveyard. We'll kill that thing, I don't know.
Okay.
It didn't get destroyed for some reason.
Yeah, Volcanic Arrows just doesn't work, I don't know why.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
do your worst. Let's see what you can do against this unstoppable battlefield.
I'll Hydro Hurricane you again just to bounce your mana.
Alright.
And then I'll Locomotiver you, just so I can maybe see one more card you're running. Of another Volcanic Arrows. Alright, and then we're gonna double break.
Yeah, I think I had 2 in my mana zone.
Boom, boom.
Alright, my one of Holy Awe and Shield Trigger creature is gonna come through here. I know it. Oh look, a Comet Missile.
Yeah, but if you Shield Trigger, I get the top card of my deck to my shields. Haha.
Well, I'm gonna Comet Missile anyways.
Alright.
Something. Marrow Ooze, I don't know.
Alright, well then that's a shield. And then Aqua Surfer.
Yep.
And then we'll end it with
You
Marrow
got
Ooze. Boom! I'm gonna take it that you're going first.
I'm going first, yeah.
Alright.
We're gonna be off to a bit of a faster start this time. I like that.
I don't like that. I hate to hear that.
Unfortunately, it's with Marrow Ooze the Twister,
that's fine.
and not with Deadly Fighter Braid Claw, but you can go ahead.
That's not too bad. We're gonna put Zombie Carnival to mana and end the turn.
Alright. Yeah, sure, this looks fine. We'll send this to mana, run out a Rickaboo's Screwdriver.
Ooh, he's pretty good.
He's good, and I think he's quite good in this matchup.
Yeah,
Marrow
he's very
Ooze
good.
is gonna hit a shield and then go to the graveyard.
Yep. No shield triggers yet.
I love to see it. Go ahead.
I will draw. I will Aqua Surfer to mana and end my turn. I don't have the 2-drop this time. I don't have the 2-drop to die to the Rickaboo.
Wanna play mana?
Oh god, that terrifies me.
What do I do?
3 card. I feel like it's probably like you could play something that kills blockers to mana and then get a speed attacker.
The only reason I'm really thinking about this is Aqua Surfer. If you've got it, you've got it. I'm actually going to play Bone Piercer though. Rickaboo's Screwdriver will hit.
Not the Zombie Carnival.
If you want to send Zombie Carnival back to your hand, I will allow it.
Alright, no triggers again.
How do I get rid of this arrow? Whatever. Go
let
ahead.
me put this into my hand maybe, and then I'll charge it again. Okay.
Alright.
There we go. Alright, I will draw for turn. Fall League of Dawn Guardian, not what I'm looking for right now. I'm gonna pay 3 for Jill Warka, and I'll end the turn. So even if you do kill him, he does slow you down, which I really enjoy right now.
Okay, so we'll draw. We'll play Marrow Ooze the Twister.
Okay.
We will tap Rickaboo's Screwdriver to kill the Jill Warka.
Okay. And then I'll
tap both of these.
Yeah, hold on. This will automatic. It'll give me the chance to tap them. Boom.
I
okay, you do it.
screwed everything up.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Go ahead.
Saves me a little bit of a headache. You have 1 card in hand. 1 mana for my own Marrow Ooze.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get the Aqua Hulkus out there.
Yep, alright, that's reasonable.
Get that little body on board.
Okay, I guess we just try to get you down to no shields here.
Makes sense to me.
Play Rickaboo the Dismantler.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so first we're gonna tap to kill the Marrow Ooze.
Yep.
Now Rickaboo is going to hit Shield 3.
Yep.
I guess we'll go in with Bone Piercer now, Shield 4.
Yep.
And then Marrow Ooze will hit Shield 5. Marrow Ooze is gonna die.
Yeah, he dies. Jeez, that was 5. That was 10 shields, no triggers. That is kind of sad.
I'm not complaining. Go ahead.
Good luck to me.
You've got a lot of one-cost blockers, correct? Well, you could kill the screwdriver, I guess.
Yeah, I could kill the screwdriver, but actually, no, we can. We have a. I was about to reset it, but there is actually an escape to this. We'll do the Eureka Charger to mana, and then we're gonna Energy Stream,
And
we're not gonna pull him. Now we can scoop it up.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go first this time.
Alright, you've got the first turn.
Terror Pit to mana, go ahead. Let me at least get one shield trigger. If I swear to God, if it's 15 shields, no triggers, I legit quit this
Fortunately,
game.
we're on no one drop again.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I like to see it. I like to see it. Miss Riaz to mana, and we're gonna actually summon the first creature of the game.
Okay.
We in there. We in
Don't
there.
like that. Well.
Who's the rusher now?
We'll summon the second creature of the game.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy to see that that's not the Rickaboo. Aqua Hulkus to mana. Summon Aqua Hulkus. I swear to God, I'm playing a rush deck this game. What is happening on this draw? This is like the most fortunate rush draw I've ever seen.
This is a bit of an interesting one. I think we're gonna charge mana. We'll play Snip Striker, Bull Razor, and then pass.
Draw. I'm gonna Eureka Charger to mana. I'm gonna 1 for a Marrow Ooze. And then I'm gonna 2 for a Soul Gala, and I'll end my turn.
Alright.
This is so many cards on board.
A bit of an uphill battle here. So the Snip Striker can't attack.
Unless you summon a couple things or pop some of my blockers. Yeah, when I was looking at like my hand on turn 3, I couldn't believe that I was playing the Aqua Hulkus to mana, but I needed the blue.
Right, right.
I had so many early creatures. Definitely not what I had last time.
You're sitting on one card in hand here.
Yep.
Like, you've got a big field, but...
Yeah, it's not like last game where I'm sitting on a 12 card hand. So you do have a little bit less to worry about in that sense.
Yeah, I guess we play the value game here. I'm gonna play Baraga Blade of Gloom.
I mean, he's the strongest card in the game right now.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna pick up one of our shields. And...
I mean, actually, like, I can attack and put you to no shields.
If you want to do that, go ahead.
I'll draw. This is a weird one. Because I legit could do that.
I mean, there's a rationale to doing that.
Because if I do that, and then I have, like, one shield trigger creature, it's just game over. And I feel like that deck, like, I don't think I saw any shield trigger creatures. I will lose my whole field, probably. This is such a weird one, because I have to legitimately consider the possibility of just rushing you right now. I would have never thought I'd be sitting here on turn 5 against a rush deck with no shields broken and the possibility of breaking everything. But I guess, like, you could very easily have critical blades and comet missiles in your shields, which kind of wipes out my attackers. So I guess that really could backfire. It's one of those things, like, if it backfires, it does, but if it doesn't, it works out insanely well.
Right.
I guess also, if I just, like the Snip Striker technically can't even, it's not a threat to me right now.
Also, so like, if you go in, I can, like, kill your creatures with other things and then attack with Snip Striker.
Right.
But...
I'm saying, like, if I choose not to go in.
I see, yeah, okay.
Then I'm like, I'm not really worried about losing a whole bunch because I'm sitting on 3 blockers and we've got one guy that technically can't attack right now. I've never, like, thought about this situation ever. Like, there is a possibility that I just don't play mana this turn.
The classic no mana turn 5 against Rush.
Yeah, what is this game? Oh my god. There's been, like, no shield triggers this whole set so far. What are the odds that they start coming now? Pretty high, right? That's how that works?
That's exactly how probability works, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I just wish my hand was bad. Like, if I was just sitting on, like, double Lost Soul or something, it would be like, alright. Or, like, 1 Lost Soul and 1 good card, so I could just, like, play the Lost Soul to mana. But instead I have to sit here.
I've got a 3-card hand. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can't play the Lost Soul.
But I don't
anyways,
have the mana. I don't think I'm gonna get the mana. This game could be over next turn. For sure, if I don't go in, I'm gonna be losing some blockers on my turn, without a doubt. So do I want to get my value out of them now? Or do I just wait until I'm threatening game? That could be a possibility. There could just be so much regret in this move. Oh my god. I think we're gonna actually do it the safe way. Attacking, like, it's so tempting, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna play the Locomotiver to mana.
Alright.
And I'm gonna run out the Mist Riaz.
Alright.
So what I was thinking is, like, I could play either one of those and then just, like, go in. But, like, playing the Locomotiver would make more sense because I would discard whatever you were holding. Or I could do this and, like,
if you're
sit
just
there.
going all-in aggressive, I think Locomotiver makes more sense.
Yeah,
well,
but, like,
maybe not, actually. I don't know.
If I just sit here, you're almost for sure going to summon a creature and let me draw. Or, like, you could Volcanic Arrows, but then if you do, like, you're starting to kill yourself.
Right.
So I feel like I think I like my position here, so I'm just gonna end the turn.
Now I've got a decision, though.
I feel like these are gonna be like the longest like 2 or 3 turns ever, because this game is just so weird. Like, this deck has never gotten such an early game focused hand that this has ever like been thought about. It's always like, alright, like, you just play the one Aqua Hulkus if you got it, you play the blockers that you have, and then just like hope you can get to bigger stuff later. At least I'm actually able to just, like, do everything. The highest mana I had was the Terror Pit.
Yeah, you are top decking here.
I am, but I do have the Mist Riaz, which helps.
It's a funny play, actually, that I could do, but that's a bit too YOLO.
It's just such a delicate game state right now.
Yeah. You do have a lot of draws that aren't going to help you, but realistically, most of your draws will help you. What is my path to victory here? I'm not actually completely sure.
Yeah, I think figuring that out is probably the first call of action.
Why? Do I just ignore the Miss Riaz and hit as many shields as humanly possible and hope you don't get enough blockers? That seems like a losing play, though.
Who would think that the control deck is sitting here with a 0-card hand, and the rush deck has a 4-card hand?
This is a wild one.
Yeah, this is just nobody could have prepared for this game state. And especially just the fact that it's like an intense game 3. If it was game 1, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have YOLO'd.
That's entirely fair. The problem is, like, I have card advantage right now, but like a rush deck doesn't really have ways to leverage that card advantage. And like if I try and get an extended like top deck war, you're just gonna top deck 6 blockers and then there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. This is so funny because this is going to end up probably being one of the longest games of the entire progression series.
Maybe.
In reality, it's going to be like a 6-turn game.
Yeah. Okay. I think we want to wait one more turn. Okay, so we're gonna Comet Missile. Apparently Comet Missile doesn't work either.
Okay.
But kill the Soul Gala Halo Guardian.
Okay.
And then we will Volcanic Arrows, killing the Mist Riaz.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that will go away. I lose a shield. Bye-bye Rickaboo the Dismantler. And then we're gonna end there.
Okay. I'll draw. This is gonna be an interesting one.
And I was sort of relying on, like, just the instant Lost Soul, the mana, and then say go.
I mean, honestly, no matter what I drew, it was an interesting one, because the fact that it was Volcanic Arrows still gives me a YOLO chance. And, like, I'm running shield trigger creatures in this deck. I've got the Locos, I've got the Aqua Surfers, all of which spell a bad situation for you. I'm gonna run it out. It's a Marrow Ooze the Twister.
Alright, sure.
Another 1-drop because I'm rushing again. It doesn't feel as good now that the Mist Riaz is gone, though. It kind of does feel bad. But I think not going in was probably the right call on my other turn, because if I went in, then the Volcanic Arrows, you don't have a penalty to it. You can kind of do whatever.
But I was actually hoping you'd play, like, a blocker and say, like, oh, I'll probably be safe, and then I, like, Comet Missile the blocker and then just wipe your board.
Yeah. But I'm assuming I'm going to get, like, Comet Missile or Critical Bladed into Speed Attacker. And then I start losing my board if I'm blocking, but I can just let it go through for the most part, and if I get a shield trigger creature, I look pretty decent. So I think I want to just end it here, because I'm still technically like, I'm still technically threatening lethal.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. Oh, if I drew a Marrow Ooze, I could have, but that didn't happen. So
that leads me to believe you do not have a critical blade or a comet missile.
No,
okay,
but we're just gonna run everything out.
Okay.
What order do we want to do this in? If you have Aqua Surfer, I probably lose regardless. But let's see. I guess we'll send Pyro Fighter in first.
Okay, it's a shield 5. No triggers. All right, 11 for 11.
And I don't think this matters. I guess Snip Striker Bull Razor will go in before you have the time to pump Soul Gala Halo Guardian with Rain Serum. I don't even know.
I finally got a trigger.
Yep, that's not what we wanted to see.
We're gonna bounce the Baraga.
Alright, this will go in at shield 3.
Now, I'm pretty sure I just take it, and then I try to win on my turn, I think. I could block it, and like we both die. And I don't think you would even pick up the shield at that point. I think I'm gonna probably take it and go for game. Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Alright, and then your go. Pyro Fighter goes back to my hand.
I'll draw. Mist Riaz, we don't need you anymore. We're gonna pay 4 mana for Eureka Charger.
Okay.
So my Soul Gala is pumped up. 3 for Jill Warka. Now, I mean, I guess I'm looking in a pretty decent situation with the Jill Warka on the board. And I could kill, I mean, I have so many creatures. I could kill out the Jewel Spider and then, like, poke a shield or two. That seems pretty safe. Yeah, let's do this. Let's kill the Snip Striker.
Alright.
Let's kill the Jewel Spider.
Alright, do I want to pick up a shield?
If you do pick up the shield, I still do get the opportunity to go for game.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think we do it.
Aqua Surfer will hit shield 2.
Yep, that's good.
I mean, even if it's like a Comet Missile or something, is there a way for you to come back? Like, the worst you could do, you would get the Comet Missile and play like 2 speed attackers. With my Jill Warka, I'm still looking fine. I guess you could Comet Missile the Jill Warka here. No, you couldn't, because you'd have to do it on your turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in with the Marrow Ooze. I don't think there's a reason not to.
Yeah, you got it.
Boom! And then this guy goes in. Let's go, blockers! I rushed the rush deck!
That hand was so awful that last game.
Oh, I had a Bonds of Justice down there. That helps.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
there was
god.
no fighting through this.
What was this game? That game was so dumb.
No.
That's literally...
I didn't even... My only 2 drops in my opening hand were like volcanic arrows, and then I think I played something on turn 2, but I drew it later on.
Yeah, you played the Jewel Spider, and then like the next turn you just played a Snip Striker.
Yeah,
meanwhile, I'm like, all right, Marrow Ooze.
Oh wait,
Soul
no,
Gala,
I did
focus.
have the Snip Striker in my opening hand. Never mind, but it was like volcanic arrows, critical blade, Rickaboo the Dismantler, Snip Striker, and Baraga or something. It was such an awful hand.
Alright, I'm gonna reset this game and we can put the decks down, but I'm pretty sure I know almost exactly what your deck is card for card.
Yeah, no, I tweaked a few numbers from the version you saw. Oh, okay. I don't know if you know this, but like I only had 1 Comet Missile originally, but then I picked
didn't you get
up
one? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wheel, yeah.
And that's realistically like a pretty good wheel spin. So
although like it didn't, like I'm running 1 less critical blade, so like
I see.
The deck's really not that different.
So you mentioned like you didn't see a Senatine Jade Tree. I just went without the Jade Trees because I felt like Soul Gala was it rolled with the Guardian support a little bit better. So I could go like a Guardian focused deck, and then I also didn't have to rely on Diamond Cutter.
Right. Oh,
so
that makes sense.
It helped streamline. I did get the Petruva, but I only got the 1. Luckily for you.
I got like nothing from my pulls this set.
Yeah, I got the Petruva and not that much else that was that exciting.
You want to know what's funny? So in my pack opening, do you know what the card Alice Gabage, the time burner.
Oh god, yeah, yeah.
So in my packet opening, I was like, well, this is pretty good. Like, this effect is strong. I'm gonna take a look at my Armored Wyvern pool and see if I have anything to support this. There was absolutely nothing. Armored Wyvern is such a terrible race.
Yeah, I remember back in the old days.
Describe it.
I didn't have Bombazars back in the day, so I built a deck with that thing, and it was garbage.
Yeah.
So there's one card actually I was gonna mention. I don't know the name of this card. Let me look it up. I have my binder here. I was kind of surprised that you weren't running it. It was when I was playtesting against that deck. I was using it. It was from was it from this? Yeah, I think it was from this set actually. No, he was from the previous set. Gashak Mechanical Doll.
That's the Saw thing, right? Yeah, I looked at that. I admit I didn't really test it, so like maybe it's actually good. But my thought was that like you're going to block it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
when I tested it, like that was the theory. But like when you're playing that deck, if you do like turn 2 Rickaboos Screwdriver, turn 3 get that thing, or like you just have so many Comet Missiles and Critical Blades and stuff that like it was working out pretty decently.
Yeah, it seemed too situational to me, but what do I know?
It was definitely
it's also
dead a
3
lot.
mana, which like don't really.
You'd probably rather play 2 drops.
I am playing this one of Wild Racer Chief Garen.
I honestly like it's worth it. It's worth it for sure.
In my deck tech, I was like, this card I don't think is very good, but we're just gonna run it as a one of. Sneak through a shield. Like, I mean, against this deck, it's probably worth it.
And like, almost for sure I'm running light.
Right.
Yeah, so this deck is pretty similar to the other Hydro Hurricane deck I played, but the biggest difference was, like, I kind of thought you might switch it up and play Rush, so I wanted to incorporate things that were, like, a little more anti-Rush. Instead of, like, the Centine J-Trees felt better against control, but here, like, I'd rather have the Soul Galas and the Jill Lorcas and the Aquaholcus.
Right.
And then I also just like went heavy on Eureka Chargers so I could ramp up to my endgame stuff. But to be honest, like at this point, nothing else matters because we're coming up to Shockwaves of the Shattered Rainbow. If you think about it, like every other time, we're like, all right, what are the relevant cards of this set? Like we're looking for maybe like 1 or 2 rares and like a couple commons. Like Shockwaves, like, okay, we're looking for like maybe 10 different common uncommons, like 3 very rares, every super rare. Like literally, whatever you pull, it can change everything.
Quite honestly, that was one of the big reasons I decided to run this deck today, because like this was gonna be my last chance to run this deck.
Yeah, because things are gonna just get wild after that.
Yeah.
Like
I'm preparing to pull 3 Bombazar in my pack opening.
Yeah, like
that'll
okay,
be the end of that.
You pull the Bombazar, you play the Bombazar deck, right? Like
Soul Swap in the next set.
Yeah, you pull Soul Swap. You could just like do crazy stuff with that.
Oh my god.
You've got like Decloaz, you've got Tanzanite. You could go into like a crazy Dark Water Fire deck with those. You've got like the whole
really
line of like.
Set, by the way.
You have the 5 drops where like they come into play and they do an effect based on each of the colors.
Like Windax and all the other ones.
Yeah, like Windax, Estel, Galek, I think.
I read the Galek, I think it was, the Fire Darkness one of the Continentals.
Yeah,
deck
was
was
so
terrible,
good.
By the way, but
like those cards, like it doesn't matter what deck you're playing, they're good.
Right.
And then like even like any other random like multicolor cards are all pretty good. Like there's one, it's like a 3 mana light nature card, 2,500. And it's a power attacker plus 3k that untaps at the end of the turn. Like in a tempo-y deck, like that thing is a menace. You've got like Sandfist, like a decent blocker that if you discard it, you summon it. What else is in there? Lots of other stuff.
Ganta
like,
for 1.
Ganta, yeah, just 2 cost 4k vanilla is insane. And just like even like other random, just like not even the multi-civs, there's good stuff.
Right.
So I would say out of any set we've played yet, that's gonna be like the most game-changing.
Probably. There is this one's a 120 card set, right? So like who knows what we're even, maybe we pull. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're probably gonna pull something good no matter what.
That was the other thing that like I was testing this deck, right? And I was like, should I play it this week or wait until Shockwaves and I could pull, oh shoot, what is it called? Palaolasis. That card
totally forgot about that card.
It's busted good in this deck. But I did test polls on like opening 24 packs just to see what the odds felt like. And you average like one of the rare that you want.
Right.
Like, you're not even guaranteed to get it.
That doesn't surprise me.
So I was like, all right, I'm just going to run it now because who knows what's going to happen next. Also, the Oracle. Shout outs to Sammy's son.
Oh, is that the light one drop? I was
the one drop 500 attack.
Yeah, at that point, my deck turns into Firelight Rush or something.
Yeah. Oh gosh, so it's gonna be really interesting. So like this episode felt like the mind games on like what deck the other player is gonna be. Next week it's the who's gonna get the polls, who's gonna get them.
Yeah, I mean, if I pull one Bombazar and any copies of Ganta and Windex, you better believe you know what I'm playing.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, speaking of pulling Bombazar, how I was telling you, I did those test polls. I had one like. I had the God box. I wish I was recording it as my one. I had like 2 Bombazars. I had like 2 Soul Swaps. I had like all the rares I wanted. It was just wild. I think there was even like 2, what's his name? The blue light that when you break shields.
Bloom Ericus?
Yeah, Bloom Ericus. You get to use your opponent's shield trigger.
Oh my god, yeah. That card was
like,
silly.
This box was the God box. And then I also had boxes that were just trash. So, like, who knows what's going to happen. So I'm really excited for that one. It's going to crack the whole series open. We're looking at a score now of, what, 5-4? So it's pretty close.
That sounds right.
If you win one more, you guarantee not losing the series. So I kept you out of that for at least one more week.
All right.
Let's see if my box is...
Are there 12 episodes?
Yeah, 12 episodes.
ECG? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, we'll see who gets the God box. I have no idea what decks we're going to see next week. It's all going to depend what we pull. We'll catch you guys next week with Shockwaves of the Shattered Rainbow. Peace!